Hey, how's it going, guys? Happy Friday, or whatever day it happens to be when you catch this. My fellow spiritual beings in earth suits. This is Paul Silva Coaching. And of course, you would know that because I guess you're on my channel or in my hood digitally, as it would be. So, welcome. Um, just want to drop in quickly. I don't know why I need why I feel the need to discuss this. It's more of an educational thing, really. No one's in trouble. No one, unless you feel guilty about something. Um, is the type of drinkers out there. And as you know, I do talk a lot about recovery and work with people who are reevaluating their relationship with alcohol, whether that is, people who are in early recovery or longer term recovery, or more likely people who are concerned about their drinking a little bit more, kind of riding a little bit more of whatever it is that's causing them to reach for that extra glass or two or three of wine or bottled beer, whatever it is, whether it's stress, whatever it is. But I help people kind of, figure that out. But I think there's sometimes some confusion in terms of the kinds of drinkers out there. We tend to use terms interchangeably. So essentially, we have the social drinker first and foremost, and that's kind of like your Aunt Betty, someone who will have a glass of sherry now and then, or someone that can just your neighbor, whatever, you guys can have a beer and talk, and just that's about it. No one's going to get 10 refills. Social drinkers can take it or leave it. Essentially, they're the type that would leave like half a drink on the table, which to this guy still amazes me that people can do that. So that's that type. And then there's this guy here, this cat, and that is, I mean, the alcoholic or someone's substance abuse disorder, however a way that you want to explain it. Someone who definitely needs medical intervention, program recovery, daily maintenance, all that kind of stuff. And also knowing that there's no way that they can pick up. I know I cannot pick up again. If I did, I don't know. Adios. You won't see these videos anymore. That's for sure. It might be a different kind of video. And then you have the problem drinker or the hard drinker. And on the surface, the hard drinker or problematic drinker can look the same as the alcoholic. You can talk about the DUIs. You can get the, losing the jobs. It could be the marriage strain or relationship strains. It can be all that kind of stuff. It can look the same, health problems. But the difference between the hard drinker and the alcoholic is that given sufficient reason, the problem drinker or hard drinker can stop. So what does that look like? That could be, the husband or wife saying, you've got to quit or I'm out of here. It could be the boss saying, if you come in hungover or drunk again, you're done. It could be, if it's a DUI, if the judge says, hey, if I see you in front of if I see you in my court again, you're getting locked up. Whatever. It can be something where it's like there's that pivot is made. And the hard drinker can do it. They can do it. They can do it on their own. There's a few studies that show up to 75, 80% of people who would say that they had problem drinking were able to stop on their own without interventions or recovery programs. And that's, again, because they have the ability to stop if they get to a point where it's so, I wouldn't say desperate, but getting close to desperate. Or they might be going through a phase. It could be some sort of transition. It could be like a loss of job, a divorce, death of a loved one, whatever it is. Or they're just going through a stressful period of their time, of their life, and they find they might be drinking more. The issue with that is that they might peak and they might spike in their drinking, and then that starts to become a habit. And then that can open things up. That you can go down the rabbit hole with that one. But there's a lot of areas of gray there. So what do you do if you are seeing yourself going down that road? If you see yourself getting into the problem drinking area, you may start to see some consequences. You might start to see what I was talking about, where maybe some run-ins with the law, and especially with DUIs. You might have strained relationships. You may have problems at work. You might be gapping out. You might be calling in sick a lot more. You might be finding yourself, stocking up more on wine or beer or whatever it is that you're drinking. You may find that you're isolating a little bit more. You might find that you want to hang out with certain people because you know that they're not going to judge you. They're going to be, hard drinkers themselves. And you may notice this, and you might notice how people are responding to you. You might feel a part of you just going, this is not quite right. This is not my normal. But the danger, like I said, is it starts to become a new normal. So if that is you, if you're starting to see that something's going on, and you're really not feeling 100% like it's you, but the habit, the mindset is starting to get fixed in that thing, then definitely it's something you want to investigate. Try stopping for a week or 2 weeks. Do something like a dry January, or just pick, any day and see if you can do 2 weeks, 4 weeks. And if you find that it's very, very challenging, then certainly there's something underneath there. But even starting with that can be a great way to sort of break the ice, so to speak, in terms of getting back to health, getting back to mental, emotional, spiritual, physical health. Another thing you can do is, try changing where you're going, who you're hanging out with. That may be of some interest to you as well. And, there's definitely lots of resources online that you can look to see how you can make that switch. But if there's, if that is something that works for you, that's great. If you want a little bit of help with that, and you want to really kind of dig down into what's going on, how to flip the switch, how to change the mindset, then definitely message me. That's the sort of thing I do and I help people with, so that they can go back to how they were living and how they were showing up in the world, and not just going back to it, but improving, because now you'll have some tools and some techniques and some insight into what is it that sort of triggered you into upping your alcohol. And as you go back to either cutting down or cutting out, you'll notice all the benefits, of course, physically, especially mental clarity. Your emotions aren't like a roller coaster. You feel more, calm, and you feel more in tune with yourself. And that's important, because what happens is when we get into the cycle of drinking or numbing out or, distracting or whatever it is, we start to lose us. We start to lose who we are and what gifts and talents and everything that we bring, our light that we bring to ourselves and our community and our family and all that. So if this is something that speaks to you, that you're picking up more, that you're not sure how else to deal with the stress and all that, then definitely send me a message, leave a comment or private message me, whatever it is. You can also email me at paul@paulsilvacoaching.com, and then we can figure out if there's a fit there in terms of helping you out, because definitely that's something I can help you out, because you deserve to be in a place where alcohol is not an escape hatch, and it can be something to be enjoyed or not. Maybe it's just time to take a break for a while, but just really find out who you are so that you can really live life free and happy and just groovy, because you're a groovy cat, you. Don't be like this groovy thing here. I don't know. But he's on to something. A good nap might be good. Anyway, take care. Paul Silva Coaching. Please drop me a line. Okay, take care.